Ever since I first heard that Oliver Stone was making a movie about Edward Snowden, I've been like really pumped. And then they announced that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was gonna play Edward Snowden, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could be the best movie ever. Oliver Stone is a guy known for being pretty unconventional, especially in his politics. Definitely doesn't fit into the normal Hollywood mold.
If you look at the American political culture of the last 70 years since World War II, that is the satire. That is the biggest satire of all.
And I feel like that's the approach you need to take to make a movie about Edward Snowden work. I mean, the conventional wisdom about this guy is that he's a traitor, and that's just the end of the story. But I happen to find Snowden really interesting, and like I've said before, I love stories about government intrigue. I'm naturally very skeptical of government power, and so on a personal level, I'm really excited for a movie that's going to cast Edward Snowden, this coward and traitor, in a somewhat sympathetic light. But at the same time, I hope this movie doesn't deify him. Like, there's so much to consider when approaching a story like this. It's so loaded and so controversial. There are so many angles you have to discuss. Snowden is such a polarizing character. Most people either think he's the worst person imaginable for publicizing government secrets and he should be locked away forever or worse, or they think he's a spotless hero for the cause of privacy and thwarting government power. But the truth is probably a little more nuanced than those things, and I really hope this movie explores that. Plus, it'll be interesting too, because we already know pretty much everything that's gonna happen in this story since it just happened a few years ago, so there's only so much creative license they're gonna be conceivably allowed before it just kind of seems like, okay, this movie has a bias one way or the other. I mean, this trailer is definitely setting up Edward Snowden as a hero, and to a certain degree, I think that should be fine, just so long as the movie doesn't stretch the truth to portray him as such. I think the most creative license that this movie is gonna be able to get away with is in how it portrays the actions of the various players involved in this whole story. Like, what actually happened isn't up for debate, but why people did the things that they did, well, that's a little bit more ambiguous. And I think that that's where the movie could really succeed or fail. I want the heroes and the villains of this story to be three-dimensional. I want to see Edward Snowden struggle with the thought that, hey, maybe I'm putting lives in danger by revealing this information. But maybe not revealing this information is even more dangerous long-term. Like, that kind of philosophical conflict, I feel like, is really gonna make or break the story. If the whole thing is just, wait, we can spy on people? That's not right. I've got to do something. Then that's not fun. There's so much here that can be explored. I'm so excited for this movie, but it's one of those rare times where I think I'm actually gonna be disappointed if it's not good. Because it'll be such a wasted opportunity to make something that asks important questions and shows us where we are as a society in 2016. You know, I think about a movie like The Social Network, which portrays Mark Zuckerberg as sort of this anti-hero. That movie did such a great job of making me sympathize with a guy that, in real life, I don't really like very much. And not only that, but it's a movie that symbolizes a moment in history. A moment where suddenly, like almost overnight, everyone is connected to each other. It's a piece of cinema that points to an actual point in history and what it was like to be alive then. For better or worse, future generations will be able to look at that movie and get a better understanding of what it was like to be us. I'm hoping the same for this Snowden movie, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much just in case it's not that good. What do you guys think about this movie? Are you excited about it or not, or what? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.